Hey everyone, my name is Simpsy, how you all doing, and welcome to my Yuan bow campaign. Gotta say a thank you to the folks over at the Creative Assembly for sending me early access to the Shadows of Change DLC, so thank you to them. So we're playing as Grand Cathay, the Jade Court. So here are Yuan bow's faction effects. All regions owned by factions that you have trade agreements with are visible, so that means we can really snowball and boom a trading economy. We get 20% relations with Grand Cathay, so that means we can get confederations easier. Yuan Bo also has a +5 research rate for each province capital. You combo that with one of his really good research edicts, and you can rush technologies far quicker than any other factions. +2 for astromancers. Yuan Bo's Lord effects, he gets a Winds of Magic capacity +25, -30% upkeep for Onyx Crowman and Jade Lion units. That means we can get a Jade Lion Doomstack, which are very viable, particularly in the mid to early game, from what I found. Yuan Bo's starting faction of the Jade Court is actually split between the old lands in Cathay and obviously the expedition in Lustria. You do have a decision to abandon those far eastern territories if you want, but we're going to try and keep it in this series and invest in both of our sides of the empire. Campaign difficulty, very hard. Battle difficulty as well. We are going to increase the end crisis timer. I will be turning off the dwarf end time crisis because we just had that in our Malekith campaign. Also, they've added a AI stats modifier which you can increase and decrease. We're going to keep it at normal, and I want to see how that plays out. I do quite like the idea of not giving the AI super crazy buffs that they get on very hard and legendary. Alright, let's go. Alrighty, welcome to the campaign map. We start off in Lustria with Yuan Bo, the Jade Dragon. We currently control 2 settlements in the swamps, the capital being the Crimson Skull. We're currently at war with the Blue Viper Orc tribe. They are savage orcs, which they can be a little bit difficult to deal with. And we also have a settlement in the Celestial Riverlands, Shangwu. So we're going to have to deal with the orcs at some point, but firstly let's have a look at one of the new mechanics, Matters of States, which allows us to spend resources to get various bonuses. We can rush construction, which we will do, and we will rush a training camp, which will allow us to get better quality units in the Celestial Riverlands. It's a little bit exposed, and we potentially could get attacked, so we're going to spend our Matter of State there, and as you can see we've got a Jade Barracks off the rip. We're going to be able to get a Dragon-Blooded Shogungur, as they are pretty good. We also have the Wujing Compass as well, with various bonuses. Let's go with cargo for now. Tech-wise, let's just start things off and we'll make our way down the tech tree, which we will be able to rush. Alright, trade-wise, we're going to negotiate with various Cathayan factions. We're going to be able to hopefully get better quality relations with them eventually than confederations. We get a 20% diplomatic bonus with other Cathay factions, so the more trade we can get, the better. We also can see into their lands. We're going to be going for a long victory condition, but here are the short and long requirements. You most welcome to pause and have a look. So here is Yuan Bo, and here are his skills. We'll go with Route Marcher early on. Alright, let's move this hero in, and let's go after these Blue Viper Orcs. It's going to be a close battle, and let's manually play this one. So, we have a pretty balanced army. Cathay overall has a pretty good roster. The Jade Lions I really like quite a bit. Also, the Onyx Crowmen are really good at mopping up retreating units. They are far better than Pterodons from what I've experienced. Alright, let's dish out some spells and let's move on up. Now, facing Savage Orcs would be quite difficult if we probably weren't any other faction but Cathay. But early on, Peasant Bowmen and Spearmen are going to be really, really good in the early game. So let's get the Jade Lion to pin that down, and we'll get the Crowmen to swarm. Nice. We're chipping away at them really well, and we're losing minimal casualties. And we have victory. Only losing 31 in that battle. But from what I've found, it's actually better to recruit these Onyx Crowmen rather than the Riders, in my opinion. Even though they got 139 kills, mostly running down units, I think the Crowmen last longer in battle. Alright, over in the Riverlands, let's get some more Jade Warriors. We can't forget about these lands. And we'll go with Root Marcher to get the 5% movement. Let's get some peasants. Nice. Let's recruit a caravan and send it to the dwarfs. Let's dispatch it. We're moving to the floating pyramid now, as the orcs are running. Let's get a trade agreement with the Imperial Wardens of Grand Cathay. We want to try and take the High Sentinel as quick as possible to get a trading port on the east coast of Lustria. Still continuing to recruit as best as we can. Our caravan has encountered some ogres. Let's auto-resolve this one. We should be able to win it. And let's increase our archer capacity. Let's get some more bowmen. And we want to try and run down the blue vipers as best we can. The quicker we can get rid of them, the better. Let's fight this one. I do think the peasant bowmen are better than spearmen. But even the bowmen towards the end game can be quite viable if you can level them up. What I've found is getting the Jade line to pin down a unit, then the Crowmen and Riders to hit them from behind. We're holding well. Let's use some of those bombardment spells. Make sure they don't come back in. Nice. We don't really need to put Yuan into dragon form until a little bit later on. Okay. They are retreating but coming back. But so far, if we continue like this, we should be able to smash these orcs and have a glorious victory. Nice. Let's try and run down as many of them as we can. But so far, we're starting to win this battle royale in Lustria. Only losing 333. You want to try and get rid of the savage orcs as quickly as possible because there are a fair few factions that can gang up against you. Lizardmen, Dark Elves, and whatnot. So we have an opportunity here to either keep Shangwu or release it. We do get a decent amount. It's basically, would you like to focus on the Lustrian expedition and not get caught up in Cathay? We're going to keep our lands over there because it's going to allow us to get a larger and bigger economy. It's not too much of a concern for me because ideally once we can confederate, build it up, we'll be able to send those forces over to Lustria to help us out in the late game. Let's send some more caravans off. And let's continue to take more territory against the Blue Vipers. We can get some regiments of renown now. And we have all of this territory now. Alright, let's get Yuan to siege out further Blue Viper territory. They've only got 2 settlements left. And then we're moving up towards the New World colonies. We actually might take the auto-resolve on that one. Okay, so we only lose 1 peasant bowman. Yeah, or spearman rather. We'll definitely take that, and we'll of course loot and occupy. Let's go with glittering robe. And let's go with this. Alright, so they've only got 1 territory left. We'll instantly build that. And we'll get a labor conscription there to get more growth. We want to try and get a full stack in the Riverlands before we start going after the Vampiric faction neighboring us. Let's go with Harmonic Discipline. And we'll push over to the Shrine of Sotek. And that should be the last of the Blue Viper tribe. Then we've got a decision to make. Okay. So, as we're moving our caravan through the Empire, we're going to be able to get some non-aggression packs, which will allow us to get more trade. I'm actually going to decline this one from Wolfheart. We might have to go to war with him. Let's go with Celestial Lake, which will give us control. Got some Dark Elves there. We're going to be able to take the Shrine of Sotek, and that's the Blue Vipers done and dusted. Blossom Wind is pretty good, so let's go with that. And, yeah, now we've got a decision to make. We have to move up here because of our victory conditions to take Hexalotl, so war with Mazdamundi is probably inevitable. Let's get a military access pact with the western provinces. Non-aggression pact with Carfrans, nice. We could do with a second army here. And we're going to add it to the water to get more growth. Alright, let's send our caravan to the Empire. And let's continue to get more non-aggression packs just for payments so we can invest in our economy. It's a good way to make some money. It might even keep Wolfheart off our back. We'll negotiate with more Cathay factions. And I think it's time to declare war upon the New World colonies. Only because they split my province in half. So let's move against them. Hopefully Wolfheart won't gang up against us. We'll encircle. But this actually might be a favourable order resolve, we'll have to see. And we'll move up our secondary army. They want peace. We're not going to accept that. Unless they were to give me those two settlements that I desire. No, we own that, so it's theirs. No. I would be open, but unfortunately not. We're going to decline. Let's go with training drill. Let's move this reinforcements up. And they actually moved out, so we're going to be able to decisively take Swamp Town. Let's go with mandatory meditation, which will give us a +10 charge bonus. That will help us in this active war. Unfortunately, the Blue Viper tribe are now back from looting and occupying. A rebellion came up, but we're going to be able to get rid of them quite quickly. Alright. Armies of the Celestial Court. Let's go with this one. And we'll try and upgrade the High Sentinel.
The dragon-blooded. The dragon-blooded.
Okay, we can probably get a Confederation, but it's a little bit too early. Let's add the Rangers to the caravan. And let's... Ooh. We'll get more diplomatic relations with the Burning Wind Nomads. Okay, so we're nearly getting to the point where I want to try and get all of the Celestial Riverlands under our control. We've got 17 units, so that should be enough to declare war upon the rebel vampire counts. Their corruption has been spreading for quite some time. So we should be able to push into the hills here with a decisive victory. Only a small amount of skeletons and zombies. So luckily we got the RNG of them not attacking us. But let's replenish and repair, and let's try and take the territory. We might have waited too long though. 15 turns is a bit. We're going to move now to Port Riva, as the New World colonies have moved their 2 full stacks to the Monument of the Moon. We do now border with Mazdamundi, but I think war with the Lizardmen is probably going to be inevitable. They are our rivals in Lustria, and the main inhabitants of the continent. Also, a lot of our victory conditions probably coincide with taking Lizardman territory, which will be a really nice matchup. Okay, we probably can rush more recruitment. It will allow us to get buildings a lot quicker. We can go with probably more growth. Alright, let's go with this. Let's upgrade Shangwu just in case it gets attacked. Alright, let's continue on the Celestial Riverlands offensive. Oh, okay. There's 2 full stacks here. Oh, I might have bitten off more than what I can chew. I think I might actually sue for peace. Yeah, waiting 16 turns was probably too long in hindsight. But we are going to be able to get a decent payment in peace. Or we get some more military forces. It can get a little bit complicated bouncing between the two and investing in both sides, but in the long run it will be worth it. Alright, let's go with a income bonus from industry from Yang. Let's continue to upgrade our barracks, this time in the floating pyramid, and we want growth and income as well where we can. But at the moment we've got a lot of split settlements, which you want to try and course correct on.
Instrument of the divine.
Okay, so we actually might be able to get a confederation here with the Jade Custodians with Ming Fang. And we're going to accept this. Oh, maybe I should have made peace with them. Because now in hindsight we can move those armies in. Although we're losing 5,000, we're going to be able to put them to work quite quickly. Yeah. We might take the diplomatic hit. Oh, that's just so unlucky. Because now we can flank on their east coast. Now we have a Celestial General. One of the new units in this DLC. Okay. So we'll try and move them in against the vampires. So, if I move...
Bring me flesh to craft.
Hang on, we might be able to take the Bridge of Heaven, so let's redeclare war upon them. It's going to tank our reliability, but I think we'll be okay. Because what we're going to be able to do in this situation, now that they've been divided, we should be able to conquer them. So that's a close victory there. And we'll bring in those additional reinforcements. And we'll fight this one manually. First time fighting the vampires in Cathay. Here they come. The horde of the undead. The zombies. We're going to move back to allow our reinforcements to rally up. So we will be able to get confederations a lot earlier and quite quickly, thanks to Yuan Bo's 20% diplomatic bonus with Cathayan factions. Most of this army consists of Jade warriors, which are a pretty decent unit, in my opinion. Even the bowmen as well, when they've got synced harmony. We want to try and unite these Eastern Province factions. If we are to go to war against the likes of Fellheart and... Is it Deathmaster Snickich? I think he's on this eastern side of the map. Let's start to flank. We've pinned down the zombies. Let's cycle charge into them. Nice. Bring them down. Cathay, one of my favourite factions in Warhammer 3. With this new unit roster. Adds a really nice variety of monsters. Onyx Chroman and Jade Lions. Nice. Decisive victory. Alright, let's loot and occupy the Bridge of Heaven. Hopefully we don't end up in hell. Let's disband that, just to get our money back in check. We don't need that amount of units now. There's only one full stack. There's a fair few amount of decent edicts. We're going to go with income from tariffs for now, but eventually we'll switch it to the 7% bonus to research. And we'll make our way south. Okay, so there's still 2 full stacks before we get all of the Celestial Riverlands under our control. But there are a lot of neighbouring factions. Cathay factions around us. Okay, so we have been attacked here by the Vampiric rebels. We're going to have to manually fight this one. Let's pull further back. This battle map is a little bit tricky. We will be fighting in the river, but the further we go back, the better. Have our backs to the wall. But so far, I found fighting these Vampiric scum seems to be a lot easier for Cathay compared to the Blue Viper Savage Orcs fighting beneath the beautiful blossom tree. Just need to hold on that little bit longer. Our Celestial General will be perfect holding the line in this defense. And once we get all the Celestial Riverlands under our control, we can bring back some of that money to the far west in Lostria. Some of our units haven't been pinned down, so let's try and cycle charge. I'm going to flank my Celestial General around. He should be able to fight their Vampiric Lord in combat quite effectively. And once they capitulated, they just evaporate, essentially. Let's make sure everyone's got attack orders. Shouldn't last too much longer now. Yep, that's it. Close victory. Oh, nice. We're at number 2-1 there. And Mingfang is showing his worth, joining this Yuan Bo Jade Court Confederation. Another small battle here. And we should be able to take their last settlement. Alright, let's upgrade you. Let's go with Celestial Lake. And we found Gotrek and Felix. I don't think they're really that worth it for us. You might be able to use Gotrek in your guys' campaign. Maybe you got a different opinion than mine. Alright, let's get rid of this. Small rebellion at our capital. And then I think we make plans to go against the Skaven in the north. Let's go with plus 10 income from cities. And we can get some trade with some Kislev factions. And maybe some ogres as well. And now we can see into their lands. The ogres could be a threat, but at the moment, we've got pretty good relations with them. I think naturally we're going to be at war with the Dark Elves and the Lizardmen more than them. Okay, looks like their army left the Monument of the Moon. Wolfram Wolfheart. I wonder if that's related to Ulfric, maybe. Okay, let's send another caravan, this time to Marienburg. I think will be safer. Okay, let's continue to put money into resources so that we can trade. And we've got to watch out for Fellheart here. Okay, so I think it's time to go to war with the Skaven. Where are they going? I thought they could have gone to Swamp Town potentially, but we'll siege this out with Yuan Bo and manually fight this one. Our first battle against the Empire. I'm curious to see how Cathay performs. A little bit unrealistic lore-wise, but no matter. Let's move the Jade Court's Executioner up. They seem to be clustering. We've got a lot of Jade Warriors. Not too much bowmen. Send the Jade Dragon in. And we'll get the Crowmen and the Riders to hit their archers. If they're not intertwined with infantry. They're really good at taking out isolated units, particularly skirmishers. But what I found the best is running them down. The Jade Line's really good at tanking and holding units, while your bombardment spells can hit them. Alright, let's advance with our Jade warriors. There's no point of sending them back now. Okay, we can't afford to lose this Jade line just yet. We've only got one. But we will eventually get a Jade Lion Doom stack when we can afford it. So, luckily the New World colonies haven't expanded too much. The only problem is if you do go to war with them, Wolfheart could be at our back. We only lost 54 in that. That was probably our most decisive victory yet. Nice, and we've taken the Monument of the Moon. So that should be the last of them. Let's go with Magical Reserves. And we need, obviously, these 4 pieces of territory. So Hexalotl. So we will have to go to war with Mazdamundi. So this is what we currently control here. So it looks like he's consolidated in the north, while Wulfric is mostly in the south. So you will be at war with various Empire, Dark Elf, and Lizardman factions eventually. Okay, now this is a massive opportunity here. We're 22 turns in, and Mazdamundi is actually in the coast for some reason. Off the coast of the Mountain of the Moon. Maybe going after the New World colonies? I don't know, but we've got an opportunity here to catch him in an attrition force march. We were probably making plans to go to war with them anyway. So Yuan Bo is going to intercept Mazdamundi here. It's still a Pyrrhic victory. We will struggle going to war this early on against the Lizardmen, but we'll see how we can go. Hopefully we can perform better on the battlefield than what the auto-resolve was going to give us. But thankfully he's in a force march, and he's also getting attrition as well. So let's see how well Cathay performs against the Lizardmen. We do have some larger single entity units like the Jade Lion to combat theirs. We've got our Onyx Crowmen engaging their Pterodons. They're usually a really pain to deal with, but our Crowmen, stats-wise, and engaging their Pterodons 1v1, they should be fine. We've also got a decent amount of archers. Now, Mazdamundi himself is shielded, so that's something we have to take into concern. Oh, we might lose our Jade line here. But so far, our front line really hasn't been touched, as our Crowmen and Jade Lion are doing most of the work, along with our bombardment spells. Alright, let's go in against the Skink Javelinmen. They are really chasing my Jade Line here. They want to eliminate it from the battlefield. Sending Croxagors after them. Now Jade Warriors are taking a bit of a battering, but thankfully now that they're bronze to silver chevron, they're holding a bit longer. Alright, we've split their army in two. But we're taking a battering from this one. But if we can take Mazdamundi off the board for a handful of turns, that will make our lives easier pushing into his Hexalotl territory. Those Croxagors are still chasing my Jade Line. Alright. Let's get Yuan Bo in dragon form. And engage. It can be a little bit buggy sometimes, but he should be able to battle Mazdamundi. And bring him down. Nice, we have victory. That is really, really quite fortunate. Catching him there. We did lose 374. Some of our units took more of a battering. But now, we should be able to move into his territory just that little bit easier. We also get his unique bonus, which is leadership, I believe. Yes. Leadership, aura size plus 25. So that's quite decent, having that. Alright, let's move back to the Monument of the Moon. Okay, so we're also going to open up another front against the Skaven, rather than going against our Cathayan allies. We've got a rough picture of what they own here. So they've expanded a little bit. So I think going against the Lizardmen and the Skaven early on, trying to keep Non-aggression pacts with the Dark Elves for now. We don't want too many more ganging up. Let's continue to increase our relations with you in Nangal. And let's go after Clan Eshin. Clan Eshin, not the most powerful Skaven faction. But it's just more tedious fighting Skaven than anything in their ambush stance. Okay, so unfortunately a Hexalotl army has pushed south to Port Riva, and they're going to sack it as a consequence of taking out Mazdamundi, but it's worth it. Tech-wise, let's go with +10 from sacking settlements. We're doing that quite a lot. Let's try and put a massive dent into the Skaven economy.
For the Emperor.
And we're going to be able to win a couple battles against them. Salute and occupy.
For the Celestial Corps.
Taking the Jade Wind Mountain. Okay, so we're 32 turns in, and we're going to be able to get Jade Lion soon. And we're going to be able to build it instantly as well. Thanks to the Matters of State, so we can rush them. They perform really well on the battlefield. We could do with some more Jade Warriors here as well. Okay, so Clan Eshin has a lot more armies than what I anticipated. They have 4 here. We're going to be able to intercept Deathmaster Snickage. And if we manually play this one, we should get a better result. Most of this army consists of Jade Warriors, which are really, really solid. Same with Peasant Bowmen. We'll get our Crowmen to focus their better quality units. Let's advance. Burning Wind is pretty good. Unfortunately, our Crowmen have capitulated. They've come back now. But Crowmen are going to be perfect to run away. Run down, running away, annoying Skaven units. Let's make sure everyone's got attack orders. Let's get Dragon's Breath going. Okay, this has gone pretty unorthodox, this battle, because it's all over the place. I think we're going to be able to get victory, but it's just when you get kited and isolated against the Skaven, things can become a little bit annoying. Okay, we're good. We're holding units and taking isolated fights. It's about 70% in our favour. I think we've done enough. Good victory. And that should be him done. It's just his armies are going to be a little bit more complicated. Alright, back over to the Crimson Skull. We're going to get the River Port. Ports are still pretty good, even though they've been nerfed a bit. Yuan Bo, unfortunately we've lost Swamp Town, but he's moving over from taking out Mazdamundi. And now there's a full army inside. We'll move up reinforcements. We'll try and pin it in Swamp Town. And we're going to get a decisive victory. We're going to take that auto resolve because that manually playing that with the amount of pterodons, I would not like to fight that one manually. I'd rather take the cheesy auto resolve. Let's get some more Jade Warriors in. Okay, so unfortunately we ran out of movement there. Okay, let's go with Hardened Bamboo, getting better quality peasants. So that's 2 full stacks gone. Let's retake Port Riva. We've got a Celestial General here now, so let's get some more Jade Warriors. The Spirit of the Jungle's destroyed, okay. That's interesting that Nakai's gone. He sort of sits in this part of the eastern part of the map. So that's good for me. Alright, let's retake Port Riva now. And we still need to continue to make our way towards Hexalotl, which is a part of our victory conditions. Mazdamundi's now back. But thankfully he's in a small army, in a force march again. Oh, and Fell Hearts attacked me. Oh, that's really unlucky. Oh, that's something I really wanted to avoid. having a three-way war against the Skaven, the Lizardmen, and now the Dark Elves.
The path of
We're doing so well against them as well, the Skaven. We'll try and siege them out here. But this could be really bad. Let's go with Arcane Conduit now. 28 turns in. Let's go with Sure Aim.
It befits my high station.
And Root Marcher here.
I would take that.
Here comes Lockyer Fellheart. I think we're just going to have to sort of... yeah, accept the loss of some of those settlements there. Take it on the chin. We need to focus on Clan Eshin first, which can be hard to run down. We'll take that now. Yeah, we'll take the 4 Peasant Bowmen. Spearmen, absolutely. Okay, 150% research. So it could be better. Let's take Hexalotl.
Their demise.
And Fellheart is going on an absolute tirade through the Celestial Riverlands. So it can be a little bit hard to micro. That's why they want you to have the option to abandon this Eastern Cathay territory. But I think funneling over money and supplies to Lostria is a good idea. It's fun. You could, it's a legitimate strategy to let the AI build up the majority of Eastern Cathay. But also there's a chance that you could lose it as well, if Fellheart and the Skaven and various Chaos tribes gang up against them. Okay, I think it's time to start getting these Jade Lions in. Also got this army here as well. Okay, we've lost the rest, and he's still going to an absolute town on our settlements. Let's move Ming Fang here. Okay, we're going to take the Fallen Gates, which is a pretty decent settlement. Will give us some nice bonuses. Let's move down to the peaks. Okay. Let's perform this in the district. Let's intercept this Clan Eshin army. We've just got to focus on them. And then we'll deal with the Dark Elves eventually. Okay, we've got it to 188 now. We're going to have to manually fight this one. We've been intercepted by the Dark Elves. They've caught me here in a rotation. We're going to have to move back. Now, unfortunately, our Jade Warriors are very weak, but our Peasant Bowmen should be able to deal with them. We're going to use the Wall of Wind and Fire, which is a really decent new spell. It's actually so overpowered. Look at this go. I like it a lot. Let's continue to do that. That should really turn the tide against these Dread Spears. Just need to hold on for that a little bit longer. Even if our front line capitulates, our bowmen should be able to skirmish. Nice. Only 531 ultimately. We actually technically slightly outnumbered them. So it's a pretty good result. Oh no, now they've attacked me again. I'm going to have to play this one again. With the same army. Come on, let's have you. This one it's a ambush though. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is basically allow these individual units to basically fight for their lives. My infantry are gone. Alright, fire into that now. Our Peasant Bowmen are going to have to try and carry this one. Oh my god. Just hold on that a little bit longer. This is going to come down to the last unit here. Oh my god. This is either going to be a Pyrrhic victory or a crushing defeat. Just need to hold on that a little bit longer. It's just snickage. Come on. Okay, we got him. Oh my. Bro, fear the peasant bowman. Okay, so unfortunately the Village of the Moon has been taken by some random orcs now. Okay, tech-wise, let's go with Dragon Scales. And we're going to have to dive into diplomacy here, because we're kind of getting ganged up a little bit by Felheart and the Skaven. So we're going to negotiate with Ming Yao for a defensive alliance and military to get some money out of her, and then we'll ultimately get a confederation. And we'll send units south from the Gunpowder Road. And nice, the Confederation has gone through. And we've got a lot of territory in the north here now, which will be able to rapidly come down south and help. We'll rally up at Kunlun. Oh wow, okay. So a huge portion of the Great Bastion has actually fallen there to the Chaos Dwarves. And Zinch, okay. That's something to keep an eye on. So she's got a Magistrate here. I'm not the biggest fan of Magistrates. The Celestial General is actually pretty good in melee, so would rather get him. I still think the Dragon-Blooded Shoguns are pretty good as well, though. So they have a little bit of territory in the Imperial Road, but we'll get them to head south promptly. Because we've got Orcs, we've got Skaven, and now Dark Elves. So, let's try and take this if we can. Yeah, it's just, their ambush stance is annoying to deal with and grapple with. Alright, let's get these units to come south as quickly as possible. We might not need all these armies, but we'll see how we go. We are hemorrhaging a fair bit of cash because of it. Alright, back to Lostria. We're still dealing with Mazdamundi. Whoa. That's a lot of units there, but I can't be bothered playing it. And now they've got Skeggy. So, unfortunately got a little bit of RNG here. They grew quite a bit before we attacked them. Mazdamundi's now back. And unfortunately Port Reaver's fallen again. The poor inhabitants of Port Reaver. Alright, let's send Yuan Bo. And he's gonna run again. He's quite battle-scarred. This will be our third victory against him, hopefully. And the garrison will come in. Alright, let's move you over. I would like some more armies over in Lustria, but we're sort of focusing in the east. Okay, just gotta watch out what he does. Okay, so this is quite chaotic to say the least. Let's try and take this. We'll try and focus on the Skaven, and then we'll focus on Felheart. Alright, let's try and rally up some of these armies that are coming from Ming Yao, the Storm Dragon. We are hemorrhaging a bit of cash, but our economy can handle it. Let's have a look at her, actually. How she's been spec'd out. Okay, nothing too terrible that we can't course correct on. Felheart going on an absolute tirade. In hindsight, was it better to declare war upon him and maybe let the Skaven to their own devices? I don't know. Alright, let's go with Jade stance now. Alright, let's stop this orc incursion. Just need to hold on a little bit longer before she can move down. We're going to be fighting some more Dark Elves here. If I attack this, surely the Skaven won't be drawn in. Surely. But they're both at war with me, so maybe. Okay, they're going to retreat, so maybe not. No, it seems like it might. Hang on.
Witness their demise.
Oh, and it will. But that's okay because it's Pyrrhic. I'll take that even though we lose an army. We're getting rid of 3. Jeez. This is an absolute brutal campaign. I thought last year was going to be a battle royale. Trying to hold Grand Cathay is now where the real battle is. Alright, let's try and finish off Mazdamundi. He's only got one more settlement left and it's Skeggy. He actually wants peace. We're going to reject that. The Blessed Dread still going on an absolute tirade. And, oh, that... Okay, this army that got caught. Level 13 general as well. Yikes. Some more savage orcs here. Let's get rid of them. Yeah, level 13 as well. Yangzhou. Unfortunately losing a pretty prominent general. We still haven't finished off the New World colonies yet. They've been rotting away at the edge of the world. The Celestial General with 5 units of Jade Lions should be able to make quick work of them. They've been raiding a little bit, so the New World colonies have officially been destroyed. Let's take this Orc territory back. We're going to re-occupy the Celestial Monastery. Let's loot and occupy. Well, actually, it's our own province, so maybe we're better off just to occupy.
Attention.
Let's move into the Village of the Moon. And stop this rebellion. It's been an annoying distraction. Okay. So they actually might take Kunlun. Kunlun. Is it Kunlun? Kunlun is something else. Isn't that the thing from Iron Fist? That terrible show. Alright, let's run down some Skaven here. Nice. A magistrate doing a good thing for once. Alright, let's move in and siege Skeggy. And now we're bordering Marathi and the Cult of Pleasure. But unfortunately, because we're at war with the Dark Elves, we could potentially be going to war with her. I don't have any ambition north. All those 4 settlements we need to take for our victory conditions are in the south. So we might just need to hold the north as a choke point here. Let's build some siege equipment. Should be easier to take next turn once it's built. Okay, it's probably a good idea to go with supply line operation to help Miao Ying go south. We're going to get a defensive alliance with Zhao Ming. And unfortunately, the Cursling has attacked us. Oh, that's real bad because she's got caught. We're going to have to manually fight this one, but I don't know how good their army is. The Storm Dragon fighting Zinch for the first time. We're going to struggle against them. They're a really good missile faction. God, they're throwing everyone in against us. This could be an absolute disaster. Hopefully it's worth holding these eastern lands. Maybe we should have let the AI... Like, it is a legitimate strategy to bide your time and allow the AI to invest and build up. Their own factions that you ideally want to confederate with. Still not favoured to win this one. We've got her in dragon form now. Just the ambushing is quite annoying. Okay, she's actually pretty good in combat, so she should be able to win that. But dude, the Jade Warriors, once again, tanking. I don't mind the Harmony rework as well. It's pretty good. I don't know if it was entirely needed, but it is. Done. Just need to hold on for this a little bit longer here. Bro, those Zinch units really pack a punch. losing 900. Probably our biggest loss in a battle. But we've won a Pyrrhic victory there. Let's take on the 7% replenishment. It's probably only going to be a matter of time before we're at war with Zinch holding the Great Bastion. Alright, let's take Skeggy now, and this should be the last of Mazdamundi.
Cathay needs them dead.
Let's repair this and bring it under our control. Bit of a storm here though. Okay, so still trying to deal with Deathmaster Snickage. We'll move these additional units in, and then we'll probably disband that. Okay, so he's only got a couple more pieces of territory, but unfortunately we lost a lot of the Nangchang Basin. Let's go with... Okay, this one's way better. 30% minus upkeep, that's massive. And then combo that with the 30%. You get a 60% reduction in Jade lines. Let's go with this now. Okay, we're going to be able to use a lot of these buildings here. Let's go with the forge. Let's try and upgrade the garrisons where we can, and then growth and money. And then followed by resources to trade. Clay Nation is going on the attack again. Okay, so let's move south. So we've got this army building the Jade Lion Doomstack. Yuan Bo's army's been devastated, which works well. And Hexalotl has now been officially destroyed. So if you can try and intercept Mazdamundi in a force march, I would highly recommend trying to take him out. The earlier the better. That's what probably won us that war. And now we can focus on this. I have so many armies. Clay Nation. That's more of the issue. Not necessarily what their armies when we fight them. Thank God Deathmaster Snickers isn't that strong. We're going to try and run away from some of these battles if we can. Alright, we're going to have to manually play this one. Unfortunately, the Blessed Dread here has intercepted us again. They have a lot of Dread Spear stacks. They don't seem to perform too well in battle, though. Now, hopefully, my FPS doesn't tank going over rice fields. I think they fixed that. Okay, so our front line's holding. We're actually kiting a lot of them. Not the biggest fan of peasant cavalry, but cycle charging in. This just seems to work. I wonder as well, changing the stat modifier, the units think they have more stats than what they actually have. I do kind of like it. Just giving like a cheaty stat buff to units I always found was a little bit silly. I guess it makes the... if you can sort of correct the AI recruitment, it'd be more sort of realistic and sensible. Only 202 there. Alright, let's take on the replenishment. Only losing 202 on that, so it's not too detrimental to the campaign. Back into tech. Let's go with defensive formation now, getting the leadership bonus. Okay, so we've sort of stabilized this former Mazdamundi territory, and we're going to move an army to the Fallen Gates. And we need to build up Hexalotl, and we need to rebuild Yuan Bo's army. Felhart's moving up now. We're going to be actively at war with him. Clay Nation shouldn't have many more settlements. He's in a force march, so we might be able to intercept him here with Ming Fang and bring the Storm Dragon closer in, even though she's in a force march. Now, thankfully, Felhart's overextended. Potentially because he's had so much of a free time in our territory. He's taken, 2-3 settlements in quite quick succession? We might even be able to bring all our armies in here. Is that going to bring the 3 in now? Nah, just the 2. We might take the auto-resolve and... no, we'll manually play it. We haven't fought against him. Alright, let's go. Here is Lockyer Felhart on his dragon mount. Our reinforcements are coming from the left of screen, so we're going to have to advance. Our peasant bowman, if they actually target him, they might actually be able to bring him down from his beast. Now, luckily, he hasn't got too many Black Ark Corsairs. And now that he's so far inland as well, we're not actually going to be dealing with these Black Arks. Man, the Jade Warriors and the Peasant Bowmen, you can really use them quite effectively. I would say even towards 50 to 100 turns into the campaign. For the cost-effective analysis of them, they're so good. Alright, Felhart's army's mostly in retreat. It's just him that's holding on. And victory. Fair few amount of casualties though. Would have liked to keep that down, but it's okay. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the Storm Dragon's army in, and we get immune storm. Okay, attrition there, it's not too bad. Okay, it's getting to the point of the campaign we've got so many generals that it's getting a little bit of a hard time to micro. Why can't I click that? Maybe that's a bug. Some of those icons aren't active. Alright, let's get a military alliance with Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon. And let's get a military alliance with the Burning Wind. Let's retake some of this territory now that we lost. Can we intercept this effectively? Peric will take that. Okay. I was just curious to see what Lightning Strike did. No. It would have made us winded, I think. Yeah, we'll sacrifice some cavalry. Unfortunately, we've got some Norscan turret coming down here. Oh. The Bloodhawk. Oh, okay, they capitulated. Alright, let's move south here. Those reinforcements from the north are now actively helping out in the south. Yeah, so there's a Black Ark there. As we get to the coast, we have to be a little bit careful. We should be able to quite easily run down their remaining armies here. Alright, some ogres ambushed us here, and that caravan's cooked. Unfortunate. Alright, send another one off. Hopefully this one's more successful. Okay, let's go with a +4 defense. Oh, nice. We can get trade with Karl Franz. And now that we can see those other factions around him, we're going to be able to get trade with the likes of the merchants of Marienburg. And maybe even Bretonia as well. This is really going to help our economy. We're making 5,000 per turn now. This will help fund our Jade Lions. And we'll bring them in now. I can't wait to see how they perform on the battlefield. Not quite a doom stack, but it's getting close.
The Emperor's architect. Question the worth of
Okay. Let's try and retake some of this territory. The siege equipment's now been built. Okay, so Clan Eschen is still sitting with one settlement. Oh, okay. I'm going to reject that though. Okay, let's upgrade where we can. Growth as always.
Instrument of the divine.
I think we retake Nongchang, I think. Even though we could have got peace. We've got them on the back foot though. We kind of want to take that territory. I would have accepted peace a little bit earlier when things looked worse. Alright, let's just try and run down the last of their units. And then hopefully that's Clan Eschen done.
Celestial General.
We've somehow pushed through this baptism of fire. Crikey. Let's build some more siege equipment up.
We are Cathay's true bastion.
So that could have kind of cost us that war. Maybe overextending against Clan Eschen. I'm surprised how much of a hard enemy they were. So this is what we currently control in Lostria. And we need these 4 territories here. They need to be tier 3 before we can build the prerequisite building. So, I guess we continue to head south against Marcus Wolfheart.
More warriors mean fewer.
If we're naturally going to have to head that way. So now we're at war with him. Let's see how he reacts. Also, he destroyed that Dark Elf faction there. Interesting.
First among warriors.
Alright, let's get some more... Actually, let's get some cannons. We haven't got any of those. And then some Onyx Chromen, sure.
The
We're gonna have to play this one. They mustn't have too many more armies left in them. Yao Ming should be able to make quick work of this.
Move as we
I stand ready.
order and balance.
If we can mop up this first army, the quicker the better. Okay, the second army's now in. I think we got it now. It's just always getting dragged and distracted against the Skaven. Alright. Let's wrap things up. Good win. Decisive victory ultimately. Jeez, they deployed 5,000 of those Skaven slaves. So many of them.
We shall
They're still sieging us out here though. Okay, let's go with melee attack.
your death.
Let's finally retake Nongchang, one of the early settlements we lost in the Fell Heart incursion.
Witness my power.
Let's get Miao Ying to run down the last of Clan Eshin, hopefully. Okay, Wolfheart has intercepted us here, actually. So we'll manually fight this one and see how the Jade Lions perform on the battlefield. Now, the Empire should be a really good test, because they've got some pretty decent... Well, they've actually got a well-balanced roster, kind of like us. So let's send them in. And let's, of course... drop those breath spells. Oh my god. Seem to be holding quite well. Nice. They really like blob up around the Jade Lions. And then you can just really bombard them from afar with magical and missile abilities. Nice. Oh my god. We've just absolutely shredded the men of the Empire here. Let's try and mop them up. They're actually quite quick as well, running down units. You can get more speed bonuses in the tech tree. Alright, we've got some Norscan rebels attacking us. Unfortunately, we're going to lose. Okay, so Wolfheart's now actually moved north. We should be able to intercept him. He's going to run away.
The Emperor will
Now, we have let him build up a bit, but seeing how well the Jade Lions performed earlier, they should be more than capable to run down most of his faction.
you are Cathay.
The Celestial General's still doing pretty good though.
Stay mobile.
They are a really, really solid option in the melee now for Cathay. Alright, let's continue to move south. Alright, back over in the east.
Storm.
We'll send Ying over.
The storm dragon
And we should be able to stop this settlement getting
against Skyrim.
attacked and sacked now.
Dragon of
We have kind of stabilized this eastern region, and then we'll make plans to try and finish off Fellheart once and for all. Okay, back over to Wolfheart.
General
Try and run down another one of his armies. And then once Fellheart is destroyed, we're going to be able to use those coastal territory to send all our ships over to Lustria.
Instrument of the
Okay, so
divine.
thankfully the Burning Winds have sort of gone on a crusade here. They've pushed really strong in Fellheart's south. But now we're getting to the
Waste my time.
coastal area. There's going to be Black Ark Corsairs hanging about the place.
We shall defend Cathay.
So
We must break.
Miao Ying is now going to move south.
My mother
And she can start looting, occupying some of this Blessed Dread territory. Make some of that money that they stole from us from razing and terrorizing some of our cities. Alright, let's move Ming Fan over. Hasn't got too many territories left, actually.
So many.
The color of magic. Let's go with that. Okay, so we have a bunch of money to invest into our economy. So let's try and build up the garrisons where we can. Let's try and increase our growth. And then we'll go with tradable resources, because we can just get a bunch of trade rights. Let's move in here. Oh, Peric, we're going to have to build some siege equipment.
We are Cathay's true bastion.
I think the Burning Wind actually softened them up quite a bit.
Dragon's will.
So they've only got
Never.
a couple Black Arcs
suffer the test.
and only one piece of territory. We'll go back. There's no need to lose all these units.
How chaos
Okay, so an army's popped up.
together in this world. Such insolence. Leader
They
of
stopped us from that siege equipment being constructed, so we're going to have to redo it again.
marching
That's
to
okay.
war. Relent now. Rouse for battle.
Alright, making our way towards the Blood Hall
Royal execution.
and some of Wolfheart's territory in the jungles of the Green Mist.
Master of the meteor winds. Attention.
Going further into the jungles of Lustria now, running down the last of Marcus Wolfheart and his band of rubble.
Your death.
Okay, they're trying to move back to their last settlement now. That siege equipment has been built, so we can waltz on in. And now they should start
Leader of men.
rotting away at the ends of the earth. Man, Fellheart really threw a spanner in this campaign. But I didn't kind of want to go to war with him early on, because I feel that Rakath could have surged south, or maybe even Marathi could have attacked us.
March for your rations.
Thankfully, she's remained neutral, Marathi. But just need to finish off the last of Fellheart, and then we've got pretty much a
Fame.
united Eastern Cathay. Although we don't directly control
Miao Ying.
Zhao Ming or the Burning Wind just yet,
Cease
we're going to be able to send these units
in
that are
all things
battle veterans now to Lustria.
and execute.
Let's push over to the Blood Hall. We're still building up Hexalotl, so that it needs to be tier 3, and we need like a 1500 to build the
No.
prerequisite building to start going towards our victory conditions.
You shall toil the fields.
But we're making a good amount of money per turn now. We essentially have 2 empires under our control. Okay, hopefully this is the last of the Blessed Dread now.
Keep your lives and serve.
No, they've got an army in the north. This should be it. Oh, okay.
Not today.
The auto resolves aren't always as clear cut. Alright, let's move in you to help us out. That guy's name was Silk Song. What a name.
You are
Nice, finally the Blessed Dread are no more. Crikey. Now we have all this juicy eastern territory. Let's dive back into diplomacy. So we actually can get a confederation with the Burning Wind Nomads or Zhao Meng, although he's a better legendary lord. I kind of don't want to get drawn into a war with the ogres, or particularly those Zinch factions and Chaos Dwarves occupying the Great Bastion in the north there. So we're going to incorporate the Burning Wind, and then we're going to be able to hopefully send all these armies that we've acquired to Lustria to help us push for those long victory conditions. And we'll let the AI with Zhao Meng focus on retaking some of that northern bastion front. We'll eventually get a confederation with him because he's a pretty good legendary lord. But it'll just be more of a distraction at the moment. And we're going to have to wait 10-20 turns anyway before we can go with another confederation. So let's move all of our units here in the east to the coast, and then we'll be able to flood an abundance of stacks over to Lustria. So you can purely focus on the Lustrian front, but I do think it's worthwhile playing the Game of Thrones in the east here.
Attention.
Okay, unfortunately, the Chaos Dwarves have attacked the western provinces. I guess we'll accept that. There's a chance we could lose some territory, but hopefully he can deal with them. I'm focusing on Lustria now. We've got a nearly 400% research rate, which is really good. As we've been attacked here in Nangao, as if. The research rate is 400% because we've changed all our edicts to the 7% research rate buff. Okay, we're still heading everyone over, and it's time to send these armies to Lustria. Because once we take the prerequisite settlements, armies will spawn. Alright, let's send them on in through the sea lanes, and they'll come off the west coast of Lustria. So 3 full stacks heading on over. While Yuan is focusing on the last of Wolfheart, who has a lot of armies here. But thankfully we're getting really favourable auto resolves when we fight them. Decisive victories on out. The only problem is with single unit entity units like the Crowman and the Jade Lions. In auto resolve, they're not the best. Another good victory here. Okay, so now that Hexalotl is tier 3, we can build the Astromantic Relay. It does cost quite a bit, 12k, so maybe you do need those eastern provinces before like being able to like afford the construction of them. Now it's going to take 5 turns to build the relay, and then we're going to have armies spawn on us. We need to do this 3 more times. It's also getting to the stage now that we're making 20k per turn, and we've got so many provinces, so we'll auto-manage them. Another victory against Wolfheart. And now our tech only takes like 2 turns, which is pretty good. We can go with the Dragon Sea Edict, which will give us more money. And looks like our armies have arrived. But I'd be curious to see what you guys think in your Let's Plays. Will you be abandoning your Eastern Cathay holdings to focus on Lustria? I definitely think it's worth playing both sides of East and West. Alright, so Miao Ying has now arrived with her 3 full stacks, and we're going to go all the way down here to the Great Turtle Isle, as that is one of the prerequisite settlements we need to take and build the relay. So we're probably going to be at war with Rakarth soon, and we've got another 2 armies coming from the previous Burning Wind tribe. Okay, so we need to head down here as well. Does Teclis own this? I can't remember. Anyway, we'll send Yuan Bo with 3 full stacks. I don't know the size of the armies that spawn, but let's just bring 3, just in case. We are on very hard, very hard. Okay, unfortunately, Zinch has attacked us. Oh, they actually raised it. They blew it up. Okay, so Zhao Ming actually was doing alright, but now we're starting to lose a lot of territory here. We're going to have to make some more armies. I'm focusing on my victory conditions now. If we do lose a fair amount of territory in the east, I guess so be it. We're going for our victory conditions now. We're 61 turns in. And Zatan has attacked us.
Make your ancestors
Thankfully, we've got a favourable auto resolve. But we're making heaps of money, so we can afford to construct some armies here. They actually want peace, so we'll accept that. I don't want to be at war with the Chaos Dwarves. Okay, so the Lizardman incursion has begun. So how many armies are you going to spawn? 1, 2, potentially 3. I'm curious to know the size on them. I do believe that the first and earlier ones are a bit weaker. The end term ones can be quite a bit. So you do need to build up the settlements to at least tier 3 before you can build the relay. So we'll get an army here. And we've also got some reinforcements coming as well.
natural authority.
We've got the garrison at Hexalotl. And we'll get some more units and then we're going to have to defend it. Okay, we're going to declare war upon Rakath because we need to take the Great Turtle Isle. And he's growing quite a bit as well. Still only rank 47th strength. Okay. Miao Ying and her bloody host should be able to take this. Now, thankfully, he's built it up. So this one's 17k, so that's quite a bit as well. So that's going to take 5 turns before we have to deal with that Lizardman incursion. So this is what we currently control. The Lizardman armies have started to spawn now. So it's a Lizardman Raider faction. It's only 10 units there. We've got more reinforcements coming. So nothing too complicated to deal with. I guess we'll just get those regiments of renown just to be safe. We don't know what the other 2 armies are going to be like. Okay, so another 2 armies have popped up. So 3 in total. So how does this... Okay, so we're actually sending out to intercept it. What's it really got? Okay, nothing too crazy. I didn't know if it was like 10 units of Carnosaurs. That would complicate things. Alright, let's intercept them before they push towards Hexalotl, but you're nearly better off just anchoring in. Alright, we've sent Yuan Bo to the Star Tower and Clan Spittle. Okay, a small Skaven tribe. I can't even remember. It's been so long since I've played Warhammer 2 and 3 sort of down this side of Lustria. From what I can remember, I thought Teclis used to hold this. But anyway, hopefully it won't be at war with Clan Spittle for too long.
Row for Cathay.
We'll move our armies in.
Instrument of the divine.
Yuan Bo should be able to take this quite easily from them. We'll loot and occupy. Tier 3, thankfully. And we'll break down one of the buildings. So we can build another relay. So you probably could rush this campaign. If you can somehow make between 20k per turn or save it up just to build the buildings. I guess you need to be able to get the growth going. But 64 turns, not too shabby. And I would like to try and get peace with Clan Spittle if we can. We don't want to deal with their armies if we're dealing with spawned Lizardmen. Okay, so they've actually attacked me in Hexalotl here. And a decisive victory.
Even now the dragons plot our freedom. To the front line.
Alright,
You are
battle against Rakath here. Let's build another relay. So this one's slightly cheaper. Why was the other one more expensive? I thought they might have progressively got more expensive. Alright, Yuan Bo can now move south. We've got 2 armies holding the Star Tower. Let's get rid of the about to say changeling, curseling.
The waters of the Dragon River uninvited. But as the winds of magic flow in Cathayan favor, its ill effects can be harnessed for far more than merely death alone.
Alright, short little bit of lore there. Hope you enjoyed that short little intro movie. So, now we get a minus 75% casualty from attrition. That's nice. So you get some bonuses as well, actually going down, doing the victory conditions.
Reason beyond
So hopefully we can just sort of beat them into a peace treaty. Okay, so Yuan Bo is still pushing towards here. I wonder who occupies this. The Southern Sentinels. Sometimes Gorok can hold it. Another Skaven faction. A Clan Pestilence. That could be bad because Skrulk's a really, really good faction. Alright, let's take this. And we'll try and sue for peace with him as well. Let's build the fourth and final relay. And
The Celestial
normally I would like 3 full stacks, but we'll go with just the 2. If we've got 2 legendary lords, they should be more than fine. These guys are waiting for more lizardmen to come. And yeah, once you've done it, we probably don't need those armies up here really. Okay, so the lizardman incursion is growing. So it's still another 3 armies. Are they better? Slightly. More feral cold ones. Pterodons and whatnot. We should be okay. 3 full stacks in the garrison. Rakarth is actually interested in peace. So it's probably not a bad idea. Try to make peace with the factions you attacked. So you can purely focus on the spawned units. Man, Lustria is an absolute battle royale. Alright, let's intercept them before they come towards the settlement. If we have the chance to do so, let's move back now.
Celestial General.
The Nongchang Basin holds magic beneath its fertile soil. The Wuxing Compass.
Nice. Another one has been complete. So we've hit our short victory conditions because we've done 2. We need 2 more to go. Okay, so we've been attacked at the Star Tower now by a larger host, but we're still going to get a close victory in the auto resolve, so we'll take that. If it was a valiant defeat, we'll play it. And now we can go with Dragon Emperor's Blessing, which is -5 upkeep, which is kind of huge. Decisive victory here again. And now the armies have spawned down here. Whoa! Yeah, so there's some big armies. This is actually going to be quite tough for those 2. Gorok's nearby. We probably could do with a Celestial General, maybe. Or maybe the Dragon Blood and Shogun because it's rank 9. We'll see how we go. Skrulk wants peace. Decisive victory. Oh god, we'll take that. Manually playing that would be an absolute nightmare.
The winds of
Okay, 3 out of 4 done now. And just those 2 more armies. And then, once those 4 relays have been constructed, defended, and the Lisbon armies thrown back, we have to play the final battle, and then that's GG's for this Yuan Bo campaign. Nice, nice-oo. Just need to hold it for 2 more turns now. Let's replenish and repair.
armies of the Jade.
And now that's complete. So all 4 is done. And now we need to do the Battle of the Jade Compass. And we'll rebuild Yuan Bo's army. And then we'll have to fight that one. And then that's it. Long victory condition complete. What are we at? Like 60 settlements? We're probably like only 200 away from actually doing domination victory, to be honest. Alright, we're rebuilding Yuan's army. And we'll try and get some Jade Lions. If we're fighting Lizardmen again, they should be able to combat them quite effectively. It's going to take a while though. 400%. Like sometimes it only takes like a turn now to do some of these techs, which is really nice. We've also got access to more compass options. Alright, the army has now been complete, and we're going to have to do this final battle. Alright, well, unfortunately, I just read the embargo notes, and I'm not actually allowed to show you this battle as of the time of recording. I have to wait until the 1st of September here in Australia before I can show it. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut and edit it out. But we won. So there we hit our long victory conditions. I might actually make it its own standalone video. But we're going to wrap things up here, playing as Yuan. Really enjoyed playing as him. Pretty strong legendary lord, not too overpowered. His economy, research rate, and trade can really quite explode quite a bit. We will make a confederation with Zhao Ming, just to get a crazy looking empire. But there's a lot of options, a lot of way this campaign can go. I'm curious to know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Got to say a huge thank you to the folks over at Creative Assembly for sending me early access for the Shadow and Change DLC. The DLC will be available here in Australia on the 1st of September. So like and subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more content like this. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simsy, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.